Hello everybody! A lot of us take for granted the lowly water bottle, but today we're going to be taking a look at the history of carrying water on a bicycle. Most of us probably take a modern water bottle for granted. They're inexpensive, fit neatly on a bike, don't leak, and hopefully are made with materials that are safe for drinking out of without leaching any harmful chemicals into the water. But this was not always so. The water bottle boss, or hole in the frame that allows you to attach a water bottle cage, wasn't always with us. This 1981 Olmo only has 2 fittings on the down tube, so only one water bottle cage can be mounted. There were several iterations of water bottle mounting systems through the years. This 1970s TA water bottle was made in France, and while well made, was probably made with harmful plastics that we wouldn't drink out of today. In the 1960s and 70s, when this water bottle was made, most were likely attached to bikes with clamp-on cages. There would be a clamped cage on the handlebars and one on the down tube. Here's an older Italian-made Atox water bottle. The Atox brand was well known, and many of the older water bottles are collectibles these days. I've got to mention that drinking from these bottles is truly a vintage experience. Very little water comes out of that little nipple in the top, and you wind up feeling like a hamster trying to coax water out of the bottle. But amazingly, there doesn't seem to be any problem with the water somehow splashing out of the bottle onto you and the bike when you hit a bump. Here's a cool Shimano marked bottle. These bottles appear to seal pretty well, which is why it's so surprising that they keep shooting water out when you ride. Here's another classic style water bottle, which appears to be made of some very low grade plastic. Going further back in time, we have a photo of the 1936 Tour de France. From the teens to sometime in the 1950s, the metal bottle or bidon was used. Mounted side by side on the handlebars with a clamp-on cage, these bottles were usually sealed with a cork. Here's my 1961 Frejus with some reproduction bottles and cage. Using this setup is pretty distracting. The metal vibrates and makes noise, and the bottles are pretty much in your face while riding. It does take some getting used to. Surprisingly, they don't leak. It takes a bit of practice getting the bottle in and out of the cage and getting that cork in and out of the bottle. Not really authentic to the age of the Frejus, this bike would have had a single clamp-on cage on the handlebars and a clamp-on cage on the down tube. Further back we go, and here we see Gustave Garrigou hydrating in the 1914 Tour de France with a dual bottle setup that was so common back in the day. Going even further back, here's Octave Lepage, Tour winner in 1910. But where's his water bottle holder? This is a photo from the same race, and it shows the water bottles tucked into the leather or canvas bags the racers used back then. And finally, what did the regular folk use to carry water on their bikes back in the early days of cycling? The photos I've found don't show any cages, but there are some small bags on some of the bikes which could have been used for water. Here's a photo from around 1914 of the Capital City wheelmen in the Sacramento, California area, all happily eating sandwiches, but where's the drink? I don't see any bottles in the photo. This might have been one of the solutions to drinking on the go back then, the cyclist's cup. These were fairly common, so I guess they were popular. Easily carried in a pocket, the cup can be unfolded and used with water from a nearby well or stream. I used to have a cup very similar to this in the 1960s back in the Cub Scouts, so I guess it was a long-lasting and popular design. The cup sports an 1897 patent date and is still in pretty good shape. So when you fill up your BPA-free bottle and slide it into your custom carbon cage, or you put your corked metal bottles into your repro cage, just remember, carrying water on a bike required some thought and development over many years to come up with some safe and efficient ways to keep you hydrated on your ride. Safe riding, everybody.